Good evening, good evening. Jessa Carter, the Peaceful Billionaire here. Mission to Billions vlog day 37. I did the math before I pressed record tonight. Okay, I'm remembering, I'm getting better. Getting better at this. I am always a mess and masterpiece, simultaneously progressing and advancing on my own journey, and that always shines through, and I always bring that full transparency forth, not only on this vlog but also to my clients, like because that's one of my favorite things that I hear clients say over and over and over again is like, that's what connected me to you, Jessa. You're so relatable. You're so relatable. I was on with one of my clients yesterday evening, and we were going through something, and she was like, I know I've heard this before from other people and in slightly different ways and at other times, and she was like, but it just, the way you said it, it just clicked, and it finally resonates, and I feel it viscerally in my body, and it just makes so much more sense. It never used to make sense. And it's not the first time that I've had clients or even friends say that, just in getting into some deep conversations with me. So with my private clients and even in group, with my group clients, like we get pretty deep. We get pretty deep, more so privately than in the group setting, but we still go pretty darn deep in my group work. So I was working through some things with my client last night, and I was just being playful and silly with her, and she was like, all right. And I was just teasing her, and I said, respect my authority. And she just started cracking up, and she was like, see, these are the things that some people might not believe about you, Jessa. She was like, and that's why I love you. She was like, because she's like, here you are, this like ethereal woman. I had on all white yesterday. And she was like, here you are, this like ethereal, divine, like spiritual, wealthy, incredible being. And she was like, and she's like, and you just quoted Cartman. She's like, and you just quoted South Park. So I was like, well, that's the real me. That's the real me, right? And as peaceful and divine as I am, I'm still extraordinarily badass. I still say the F word. I still drop the F-bomb sometimes, probably sometimes more often than I should, although I do my best to be mindful in that regard in most situations and most circumstances. I tend to, if I'm chatting with friends and storytelling, I don't know, for whatever reason, it tends to come through a little bit more. But anyways, so as you can see, I'm home. I am home, back home at Chateau E, at the house of the Peaceful Billionaire, where experiences exceed expectation, extraordinary, no, let me go again. I'm back home at Chateau E, at the house of the Peaceful Billionaire, where experiences exceed expectation, effortless epic endeavors are consistently underway, elevated emotions are the norm, and an extraordinary life of excellence, elegance, and ease is forever unfolding, always in all ways. So that happens to be the name of my home, the name of my space, and that is the intention that I set for my space to hold for me and to reflect back for me. And so I could not be more happy to be home, in my own space and fully in the energy and the frequency that my space holds for me, because I love not having to be the entire source of all of my own magic. I can connect and pull that in from other places and other things. oh my goodness. I was sleeping. I was gone for a week, and some nights I was sleeping on a couch, some nights I was sleeping in a bed, sometimes it was a different bed, sometimes it was a different couch. We'll see how my back feels. and I was like getting workouts in. So we'll see how my back feels being home and actually sleeping in my own bed tonight. It should theoretically feel better, but perhaps it'll take a couple of days for me to calibrate. But anyways, so it was a bit challenging to be away for a week. In multiple ways. I have a lot going on with my business right now, with growing and scaling so that I can serve more people at the absolute highest level, right? And I'm very transparent of what's being enhanced and brought forth so that all of my clients, current and future, are all receiving that next level. And so there's just a lot happening behind the scenes. And the more, the further down this path that I get, the more I really see and I realize, like, when, and I'm going to be transparent with you because that's why I'm here, and because that's who I am. When you see these people, online, scale to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures to 7 figures to 8 figures, this is the 8-figure blueprint, blah, blah, blah. You have to know and understand, right? Because I am a founding member of a group to scale and grow my business to $1 million a month or more, right? And for me, that is not about the money. That is about me serving more people at the absolute highest levels so that people can have access to what I bring forth. They can have access to their own path, to their own journey, to their own true freedom, both internally and externally, right? So the financial freedom and the internal peace and freedom from fear, freedom from the scarcity, freedom from the lack, freedom from losing it all, freedom from insecurity, freedom from any sort of limitation, right? True freedom, both internally and externally, right? So in your inner world, in your own inner world, within your inner world of money, your relationship with money, and financially in the outer world of money. So for me, that is true freedom, right? True freedom is having freedom both internally, and externally. That is what I have built for myself. That is what I teach. That is what I preach. Those are the tools, the strategies, the techniques, the full gamut that I give when you are in my world. And I literally peel back the curtain and I give access to everything. And I bring in other experts to really maximize, right? So I know my lane, I know my zone of genius, and when other people have a zone of genius that's in alignment, I have them come in to expand, right? To expand their zone of genius and to infuse that and to bring that expansion for my clients as well, right? So highest potential, frequency, expertise, genius available, bringing that in always. That is constant. That is a constant happening. So even my clients who have enrolled in my course this year, they're already seeing the exponential expansion and just added value. I'm constantly adding more value. They're like, wait a minute, when we signed up, like, are you sure we paid for this? I was like, it's fine. You paid, I'm just adding more value to what you said yes to. And they're like, okay, thank you. Anyways, I shared on my live tonight, I had a really cool conversation with one of my best friends tonight, who is also in one of my programs. She's also a client, and she is someone, we've been best friends for almost 30 years. And she's someone who had a really, really tough time when it came to money. So much so even a year ago when I was talking about financial freedom and starting to implement these tools and these techniques and these strategies and what that really means. And she was just like, no. She wanted like no part of it. And we were on a call tonight and she shared with me, she was like, oh my gosh, I have to tell you something. And I said, what? She said, I just reinstated my real estate license a week ago so that I can work on these commercial projects with her business partner and some other stuff that they're bringing forth. And she said, I came across this book that I had bought over a year ago, how to grow your commercial real estate business to $100,000 in the first year. And she said, I looked at it and I was like, she was like, what? 100,000 in the first year? She was like, no. She was like, that's not that much. She was like, I'm on a trajectory to do 100,000 the first month and it's only been a week. And I was like, that's my girl, right? Like that's the peaceful billionaire frequency. That is the frequency. So I was just like, I love that my own expansion this year has brought so much additional expansion to my clients, to my friends who are clients, my clients who are friends, etc. I think there really are a lot of people in the industry who kind of put the leader up on this pedestal, or they put themselves up on this pedestal, and that's not my jam. That's not my jam. That's not my style. That's not who I am, and that's not how I operate. I don't believe in pedestals. There's something really valuable that I learned through one of the masterminds that I was part of, which is anytime you put someone on a pedestal is the moment they look down upon you. And so I don't personally put anyone on a pedestal. I am not interested in anyone putting me on a pedestal. I don't see anyone as being above me or below me. I see everyone as an equal, no matter where you are on your journey, right? You are an equal. There is no shame. There is no judgment when it comes, especially to financial. That can be a very sensitive thing. And I have hit every low, all of the lows, right? I have been rock bottom financially. So I know what that means. I know what that feels like. I know how scary it is. I know how unpleasant it is, right? But I also know what it's like to experience that evolved and at a higher place of consciousness. And so I've hit that rock bottom at multiple places on my journey, and what I've learned and what's different as you continue to accelerate and expand, especially internally, but also externally. That is where you're connecting to people who are super rich and super wealthy, who have, especially if they've built it themselves, you learn what to do. You've built this muscle in yourself. And so there were so many people, myself included, if I were to lose what I have built at this point, like, I could build it back faster, right? And that is because of all of the tips, the tools, the strategies that I have learned along the way, but also who I've become, right? So those perceived challenges or obstacles, I've jumped over some pretty big perceived challenges, obstacles, hurdles, and I know what those truly are. And I know that there's truly an opportunity there. And I know that on the other side of the opportunity is a reward. And so that is, it's so special and powerful when you not only know yourself in that way, but when you can really trust yourself in that way. And when I was chatting about true freedom tonight, and what that true freedom is, right? And true freedom is freedom from the fear, from the scarcity, from the lack, from the shame, from the guilt, from all of it, from the stress, from the overwhelm, right? True freedom is the freedom from all of those things, plus the financial freedom, plus the prosperity, plus the abundance, right? So true freedom. That's what I teach, that's what I preach, that's who I am, that's what I've built, that's what I help others build, and that is my mission, that is my purpose, that is my entire reason for being on this earth, is to bring that at the highest level to as many people as possible. And I'm telling you, it requires a lot of yourself to grow and expand and stretch and keep getting, reaching that new, ground level, that new, what is my new comfort zone, and then going beyond that, and then going beyond that, and then going beyond that. And just that continued growth and expansion. And truly, when, as I was saying earlier, when people say that, when people talk about that, like, not everyone talks about the work that went in behind the scenes, right? And so what I always say is, I make financial freedom simple, right? Simple and quick, right? Simple, but it's not necessarily easy. It's simple in the sense that the tools, the strategies are simple. Using them, not so simple, right? If it were easy, everybody would do it, and not everyone is there, right? And not everyone is even close to being on that trajectory. And so the frequency, though, the $1 billion frequency, is bringing you from wherever you are into that next level of expansion. And that next level of expansion, when you're connecting in to the $1 billion, to the Peaceful Millionaire frequency, that frequency is so expansive. So whether you're going from 6 figures to multiple 6, from 6 to 7, from 7 to multiple 7, from 7 to 8, right? Or beyond that, whatever that next level of expansion is for yourself, there's always room for you to grow. There's room in mastery, no matter what level you're at. The level of mastery that I provide to my clients, in mind, in money, in success, that level of mastery is something that's going to create exponential expansion in your financial life, in the financial destiny of your choosing, no matter where you currently are on that journey. Because if you do not feel like you have true freedom, both internally within your own mind, body, heart, and soul, and externally in the external world of money, meaning you have financial freedom, if you chose to not work another day in your life, that you are set. If you have that, you don't need me, right? If you have that, I honor you, I salute you, I would love to meet you, perhaps we can collaborate and work together. But if that is not you, and that is not where you are yet, that is the Peaceful Billionaire, right? That is the path of the Peaceful Billionaire. That is the frequency of the Peaceful Billionaire. And that is what is available to each and every single one of you listening to me. If you ever hear my voice, if you ever hear this message, if it sounds too big, if it sounds too scary, that's an illusion. That's an illusion. That's not real. Anything I can do, you can do. Everything that I am building is available to you. True freedom, true financial freedom, true internal freedom is available to you, each and every one of you, right? And the path of the Peaceful Billionaire, the Peaceful Billionaire wealth system, everything that I give to my clients, I give so much value and content just out here in the world, even when you're not in my courses, so you can imagine what happens when you're actually inside the container in the magical world with other like-minded, wealth-minded people who are breaking through their own limitations and tapping into, connecting to the billionaire frequency, the $1 billion frequency, the Peaceful Billionaire frequency, right? I'm so fired up, and I'm so happy to be home It was definitely a lot being away because I have so much on my plate this month that is time sensitive. And so I do feel like I was being pulled in a lot of directions, and it was challenging to be in a different environment where the frequency and the emotions were very different than what I'm used to. And one of the things that I shared is my dear friend and my soul brother Andre, who is a superhero of love. He recently did a soul sabbatical out in California for a month, and he was just on this beautiful soul journey. Took a month off, and he's a client and a friend, right? And so experiencing true freedom and being connected into the divine frequency. And I spoke to him the first night that he got home, and he was like, the frequency, it's the energy, I can already feel it. It's so different being back in Canada. And I was like, whoa, 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 brother. I was like, you are the divine frequency. The frequency that you experienced in California is now your frequency. That's your frequency. And it's there no matter where you are. And actually, I meant to share this on my live, so I'll share it tomorrow when I go live. But so it was challenging for me to be in a different environment and a different energy. And I was like, okay, Jessa, well, heed your own advice. You are the divine frequency, right? And that frequency is available to you no matter where you are. So you stay true to you, which and who you truly are is not influenced by external frequencies, external energy, or external circumstance. And so I was like, nope, that's it. Okay, I am the divine frequency. And as soon as I started to really focus on that and shift back into that and tap back into that, like, oh yeah, that is what is truth, then all of these really cool things showed up. Like I went to the store to pick up a few things. There's a grocery in her neighborhood within walking distance, which is super cool. And I just went to the grocery to pick up a few things, and I was walking back, had my AirPods in, I was talking to my mom, and I see one of those book exchange libraries, and I was like, oh, how fun. I was like, I'm looking in the glass. I was like, oh, what's in there? And I see Alex Hormozi's $100 Million Offer book, which I happen to already have on Kindle and on Audible, and I've done his free virtual course, which is excellent, by the way. It's acquisition.com, and it's completely free, and it's a great free course, so I do highly recommend that, as well as the book, whatever version of the book you prefer. But sometimes there's some books I really want to be able to highlight and or take notes, and that was one of those books. So the book showed up in one of these mailboxes, and I happened to have a call with one of my mentors, and she was like, Jessa, she's like, that is crazy. She was like, that's not the type of books that is normally in those little libraries in a neighborhood. She's like, it's usually kids' books or romances. And we both started laughing, and I said, I know. I said, but it was right there, and it was literally on top. So clearly, right, I am the divine frequency, and I'm attracting, right, and I'm attracting that to me, and that is available to me wherever I go. And then I had a message from someone who is so near and dear to my heart that I hadn't heard from in a little bit. And I was like, okay, now we're really, really tapped into that divine frequency. And then, right, my friend that I was staying with and we somehow got on the subject of my book, which is The Peaceful Millionaire. And you're listening, so you might already know The Peaceful Multimillionaire will be coming out later this year. The Peaceful Billionaire will be coming out next year. But all of my courses are The Peaceful Billionaire, because that's part of my story and my journey is be the peaceful billionaire now. And the expansion that brought to my own life is the expansion that I immediately started to bring into my branding, into my clients, and just really bringing that up in its entirety. But anyways, what I was saying is, what the heck was I saying? Oh, the book. Okay. So we happened to be talking about my book, right? We were talking about The Peaceful Millionaire, and she was like, oh, you know what? She said, there's some millionaire book upstairs on my nightstand. Maybe you'd like it. You should check it out. And I said, okay. So I get the book, and it happens to be a small book, and I read it, like I read it immediately, and it resonated so deeply and profoundly for me. Every single thing in the book was on point. It's stuff that I teach. It was fully in alignment with my 3-day event. It really is. I was like, oh my gosh, like my year-long program, this isn't even my book, and my year-long program like brings this to life and gives people this, able to integrate it into their own lives. So I read the book and I understand what it means to me. I also know that that just reading the book, had I just read the book earlier on my journey, it would not have been as meaningful or as impactful to me. And but it just really anchored things in an additional, even deeper way than I even normally experience. And it's just absolutely out of this world to have these divine messages sometimes that just show up and remind you that no matter where you are on your journey, that you're on the right journey, that it's your journey, it's the right time, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I was exactly where I was supposed to be with my friend who was going through a challenging time. And even though it was challenging for me to be there from a business perspective, because the timing of it was not necessarily ideal, but it was exactly where I was meant to be, because I would not have received all of those divine messages, in particular that last book. There's no way, had I not gone there to be with her, had her circumstance not been what it was, that she needed me to be there, and just the absolute serendipity and synchronicity of that. There are truly no accidents in the universe. I do not believe in coincidences. There are no accidents in the universe. And I know you have had moments in your life that prove that for you. And the more you open to that possibility, the more those moments will show up and show up and show up. And I really experience those moments frequently at this point, and I'm so grateful for it. All right, that is all for this evening. I'm so amped up tonight, so I was just going longer than I expected. But that is all for this evening. Jessica Carter, the Peaceful Billionaire, Mission to Billions vlog, day 37. I'll see you tomorrow.